Before I start my taqreer today, I want to thank the Ahle Phoenix Jamaat here for having invited me and finding me worthy to dispense a few words of wisdom to you. I am very grateful to you. And I'm also very, very delighted to say this, that the audience that I've had, the listeners, the Azadar, are so phenomenal here. I may only be addressing maybe 50 people here max, but I really feel like I'm addressing 50,000 here. This is the spirituality that is coming out from all of you. And for that, I thank you. And for all of you, and for this jazba that you're showing in the name of Arbaeen, I request the loudest of the salawat. I also want to thank the management committee for having really been very, very overbearingly kind and facilitating in every single aspect and respect. They've been very kind. All I had to do was sneeze and I had a box of tissue here. That's how hospitable they are. And Jazakallah, Jazakallah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may this spirit that's in this community, if anything, just multiply, grow, triple, quadruple, and reach millions and zillion times over. I thank you once again, and I just had to say the words of thanks, because if you don't give shukr to anybody, and if you don't say thanks, then you have unjustified your existence here. Durood Bejhi Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad par.
की सेहत और सलामती के लिए बुलंद तरीन सलावत।
May I kindly request something unusual today? The young men that are holding the wall, why don't you let the wall go? It's not going to fall. Come in the front here so I can talk to you. The young men. Would I come? All of you. Please come in the front. Hamad Wale. You can come in the front. All those that can sit in the middle. Those that have to be the wall, please hold the wall. It's okay. Asan, Asan. Bawazibulan salawat. The only reason I'm doing this is because, seriously, it's my last day today, and I want to talk to you young men. That's why. If you're going to sit on the wall, I'll have to bend this way. So it'll be very nice that if you guys can even come a little more forward. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. It's okay, it's okay. Come a little more. Don't be shy. I don't bite. Come. Salawat bar Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I request all of you very humbly to please join me in reciting Surah Al-Mubarakatul Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه ونور عرشه. أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين. شفيع المذنبين. رحمة للعالمين. الرسول المصدق محمود الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في قرآن الحكيم وفرقان المجيد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون بعض بلند صلوات اللهم صل على محمد Surah Waqia. The ayat numbers are 68, 69 and 70. And this is an amazing Surah Waqia is very amazing, and I will get to it in just a minute, but I want to conclude by saying that we started our mawzu'at from the beginning of our taqreeds, 3 days now, this is the third day, and it was Alif Lam Mim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Surah Baqarah. Alif Lam Mim Hudan lil Muttaqin. Please. ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. بعض بلند صلوات. I'd appreciate even if the young men that are sitting here with their cups of water and tea, whatever, to participate in salawat as loud as you can. Bawaze buland salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I said to you from the first day that I was here, I will take these particular ayats, which is the first ayats of Surah Baqarah, and divide my majalises into 3 parts. The first part was, where are we going? We remember. The second one was, anybody remember yesterday's majlis, please? Por favor. Where are we at? Correct? And the third, which is the conclusive today, is where should we be at? These are 3 parts. The last part, and we will discuss it properly today, inshallah wa ta'ala. But before I even do that, I want to talk about some very magnanimous personalities today in front of us, so that I can shed light on the actual subject matter that I want to discuss with you today. Our Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He said, Ala madinatul ilmuha wa aliyyun babha. I am the city of knowledge. Ali is the gate. And he said something else that was amazing. He said, Husaynu minni wa ana min al-Husayn. Hussein is from me and I'm from Hussein. Who is saying this? Rahmatul lil Alameen is saying this. What is he saying? He says, I am the Shahr, the Medina of Rahmah, and Hussein is Babul Rahmah. Durood Beji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. 2 gates that come out from the Prophet's sayings. The gate of knowledge, Ali ibn Abi Talib. The gate of Rahmah, Hussein ibn Ali. I want to discuss these personalities before I even proceed with my taqreer today. I want to talk about the miracles that made them who they are. What was Ali alayhi salam known as? Anybody from the audience? What do we say Mawla Ali is? What? One of these young people? Imam al-Muttaqeen. Wonderful. Anybody?
Wasi Rasulullah.
Sheikh Rasulullah. How about Mushkil Kusha Do Alam? The solver of problem of the universes. This is a laqab that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be given to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ya Ali! Now, I want to present to you how he solved the problems. And I want to introduce his personality to what they did. In the time of the second Khalifa it was, Medina had an earthquake. And all the people, they got disturbed. They went to their Amirul Mu'mineen, their Khalifa, and said, Ya Khalifa, you are Amirul Mu'mineen, yes? Yes. What are you going to do about this zalzala? What can you do? And he says, he laughed and he says, you called me Amirul Mu'mineen, and you think I can solve problems. Let us go to the real solver of problems, who is the Amirul Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa. They go there at the home of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali, our Mawla, is busy in his ibadah. Finally, as he's done with his ibadah, he looks and he sees all the people of Medina. There is an earthquake, my brothers. Buildings are beginning to shatter. Ali doesn't know anything when he's in ibadat. Allahu Akbar. The concentration of Ali in ibadat. So then he turns and he says, what can I do for you? He says, Ya Ali, we have a problem. And we have heard from Rasulullah, you are Mushkil Kusha, the solver of problems. We have come to solve our problem. What can we do? He says, sit down. He took his hand and he went on the earth and he said, Malaha. And the earth became silent. The zalzala went away. And they asked, he says, Ya Ali, how did you do that? What is this all about? You stopped an earthquake. He says, have you not read the Quran? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَشْكَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. That one insan that will stop the earthquake and the shattering of the earth on the Yawm Qiyamah is none other than me, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salawatullahi alayhi wa sallam. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's why he was called Abu Turab, the father of the earth. He could control it. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Let us look at the mu'jiza of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We've heard a lot, but I want to discuss this one with you because you may not have heard about it. The time in Iran during the Umayyad rule, where there was a king who was a fire worshipper, agnostic. He was very, very cruel. He had no faith in Islam. He was so bad that he did whatever he wanted. People ran from his cruelty. He had two daughters. One was called Maharbanu, the other was called Shahrbanu. Two. A king usually at that time only gave their daughters to a prince who would become a king. That was the dignity given. And at that time this man he was ruthless. He was just wanting to get rid of his daughters. So he went, and there was a king, Chandragupta Maurya. He got this daughter, Maharbanu, married to him. She ended up in Hind. Then came the revolution of the Umayyads, and they came and they conquered Iran, and now they took Shahrbanu and brought her back to Medina. Imam Ali alayhi salam finds out that the lady that I was waiting for has finally arrived as a slave, but she's here now. And he says to the Khalifa, I will free this lady because she is a princess, and I will have her marry my prince Hussein alayhi salam. And this is the Shahrbanu that we talk about in Karbala. I want to go to the miracle part. When the incident of Karbala was about to happen, it was brewing, there was a problem. And the message went to Chandragupta Maurya. And he said, he writes a letter to Imam Hussein. He says, you are my brother-in-law. Our wives are sisters. I want to offer you refuge, and I will give you a kingdom if you come to Hind. Because Yazid wants to kill you, I want to help you. And then he sends a group of 10,000 people, army, to go. When this army reaches around Kufa, Ibn Ziyad was very, very slick and sly. He made sure that this help did not reach Karbala to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. What happened? He made sure that they got surrounded and they all died. They were all beheaded. The 10,000. After Ashura, the next day, they say a man came on a horse who was bleeding from head to toe, and he connected each head with the body, and 10,000 people became alive again. And this person, they say, when these people got up and they looked at him, they said, who are you? Look at your blood that's coming out of it. He says, I'm none other than the one you tried to come and help. I'm Hussein. I am Hussein. And the people that became alive are called the Husseini Brahmins. These Husseini Brahmins still live. They still live. I went to Paris, I remember, in 2001, and they have a place where the Husseini Brahmins actually on Ashura practice, and they do niyaz and they give tabarruk. And the sign that these Husseini Brahmins have is until today, when a child is born, there is a scar on their neck. This is the mu'jiza from Imam Hussein, that their heads got connected. Hussein's head got severed, but he went and connected 10,000 heads the next day. Durood Beji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This is the introduction that I want to give in Mu'jizat of Mawla Ali, Mushkil Kusha, and Imam Hussein. Mawla Ali, Bab-e-Ilm, Mawla Hussain, Babe Rahma. Durood Beji Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Remember our subject. Keep in the back of your mind. It is, what are we supposed to do now? As brother just said, Arbaeen finished. Today's the last majlis. We're done. Question is, are we really done? Or do we start now? Do we take all the theory that we learned here and start putting it in practice outside, in this world, in this society? It's not done. It is just starting. And this is why, what do we do now, is the thing I want you to keep in the back of your mind. In this Surah Waqiyah that I talked to you about, Allah is saying, have you seen the water which you drink? He's asking you and me. Huh? Have you seen the water that you drink? This is Quran, my brothers. Surah Waqiyah. We recite it, don't we, some of us? For barakat. So our sustenance gets better. Surah Waqiyah पढ़ते हैं ना कि हमारे रिस्क में इजाफा हो. नहीं पढ़ते तो पढ़ना चाहिए. नमाज maghrib and isha के बीच में you should recite Surah Waqiyah for Allah to give you increase in sustenance and to remove your problems. Allah is saying in the Surah Waqiyah, have you seen the water which you drink? Is it you who sent it down from the clouds, or we sent it down? These are question marks. Allah is talking to you and me. This is why I said there's conversation going on. We talked about the cell phone, you remember? How Allah is talking to you? And the third question he asked, he said, if we will, we could make it blackish and saltish. So why do you not give thanks? We could have sent this water, but we could have made it such that you cannot drink it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us something very important here, which we need to focus on, my brothers and sisters in Iman. And this is coming from the Quran. The Quran, Surah Bani Israel, 17th, ayat number 82, it says, وَنَزَّلْ مِنَ الْقُرْآنَ وَمَا شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. Those that read it, understand it, for them it's nothing but benefit. But for those that purposely deny it, for them, they are in khasara, they are in a loss. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains that Quran definitely is a miracle. The book of Allah that contains healing and mercy is Quran. The word of Allah containing healing and mercy is Allah. And the name of Allah containing healing and mercy is within the Quran. If you want mercy and healing, it's in the Quran. The very word Allah. A scientist, a psychologist in Netherlands had proven, Dr. van der Hoeven, he took patients in the controlled environment, 100 here, 100 in the other room, controlled experiment. And he said to the 100, you just say 100 times Allah, and taught them how to say it. Your tongue should touch the palate. Allah. And the others, they said, you do what you want. After a month, he comes back, and the people that was saying Allah, they got a cure, complete cure from dejection, tension, and all the anxiety problems that they had. Just the word Allah. Just the word Allah. The Quran is a healing. Just the word Allah is a healing. How many times do you and I actually sit down and say, Ya Allah? Do you do tasbih? Ya Allah. Think about it. Here are scientists finding out about how Quran heals. And here we are. We have the Quran. And what happens to us? We are fortunate. We're born as Muslims. Non-Muslims did not get this. But we don't use this resources. We take Allah's name in vain. We take the Quran very lightly. A shair said something very nicely. And I like to bring shairi of Urdu. So those that are sitting and a little sleepy may wake up. मरते दम देखा है कुरान की हवा देते हैं लोग. मरते दम देखा है कुरान की हवा देते हैं लोग. अरे सूरे यासीन को पढ़कर सुना देते हैं लोग. आज से नाकाम जब होती है ईमान की कसम, दफ्तरे इंसाफ में खाते हैं वो कुरान की कसम. वाय ओ नादा मुसलमानों तुम्हारे हाल पर रो रही है फितरते इस्लाम इस अहवाल पर. ऐ मुसलमान सुन खुदाए लम यज़ल के वास्ते अर्श से कुरान उतरा है अमल के वास्ते. दुरूद भेजिए मोहम्मद वाले. My brothers, in Surah Kaf, Surah number 50, ayat number 37, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a very beautiful parallel, good example. He says, Allah is showing us a way to get closer to Him through an incredible parallel. He says, Allah says, either one should have a pure heart and understanding like a mirror. This is in the Quran. Or reproduce the truth and listen to follow the divine endowed wisdom and guides. Allah is comparing कि अगर Quran पढ़ोगे, if you read the Quran, it will become like a mirror for you. And you'll be able to see nothing but yourself better. By reading the Quran, Allah doesn't become a bigger God, does He? Yes? Or does He? Does He become a better God? Greater God? No. Allah is Allahu Akbar. Everything that is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for our benefit, not for anybody else. Where are we supposed to go now? What are we supposed to do? Remember the question I told you? Keep it in the back of your mind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a very good example. The example is mirror, shisha, aina. Let's examine, we talked about water, now we're coming to the mirror. What's the connection here? Let's connect it. When the clouds hit the mountains and there is rain, and this rain, when it comes down on the mountain like waterfall, then it becomes river, then it flows down, it becomes spring, and then go all the way until it reaches the ocean. But in the process, what happens? And this is the mu'jiz of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a lesson for you and I. What is the lesson? He says, don't be proud like the mountains, because the rahmah that I will keep on showering on you will break you down slowly. From a mountain to a boulder, from a boulder into rocks, from a rocks into pebbles, from a pebble, eventually when the river meets the delta, it becomes what? Sand. And what did Allah teach, for example, from the sand? What happens when this water is traveling? What is this connection with our subject, with our mawzu? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, be like the flowing river. Whatever I give, give. जो मैं देता हूँ, देते जाओ. I will keep on increasing your risk. If you have knowledge, give your knowledge out. If you have wealth, give your wealth out. If you have anything in excess, give it. If you don't, what happens? Have you ever been to the mountainous side where there is a river flowing? Suddenly, you will see a pond. Where is the pond? Where the water overflowed and it's stagnant. The water that is flowing is pure, you can drink. Or will you drink from the pond? Will you? No. Why? Because it's stagnant, right? It's not flowing. And what happens? The inhabitants of the pond is a tadpole and maybe a little lily. It's dirty, it's muddy, it's not flowing. While the water that's flowing, what is happening there? It remains pure. That's why when you get this bottled water, it says, natural spring water. Are Baba, I get water from my tap, from my faucet. Nay. It might have contamination. Drink the flowing water. And this is their sales point, right? Allah has already told us this. Look at the advantage. It remains pak. Anything that flows, the water, it has become pak and it cleans others. That's the beauty of this water. It reaches, it becomes sand. And Allah gives an example there too. He says, when the sand is in a desert, He showed the example. He says, it becomes what? It becomes a mirage. You're able to see something that doesn't exist there. So people learned from there and they created what you call a mirror. The composition of a mirror is a sand, water, and maybe a little bit ingredients. But mainly it is sand and water. That's why it shatters so quick. Now Allah is giving a parable of a mirror. Why the mirror? This is what we have to be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. He says, look at the mirror. I bet you all of us have a mirror. And I bet you the most handsome or the most beautiful person that's in the mirror is yourself. When you get up in the morning, you're the best. An old man like me, I have 4 hair on the top there, but I'll look in the mirror and I'll adjust the 2 here and 2 there. That's us. A mirror. We all have it. But the beauty of a mirror, when it's dusty, it will not show you the reflection properly. You need to clean it. Now, when you look at the mirror, it shows you exactly what you are, the good and the bad. If you've had ice cream and you've got some stuff sticking here, you will still see it. And how good you look, it'll show you. It'll also show you how bad you are. Even when you now, the beauty about the mirror, you go clean it and go to the mirror, and now you won't see the bad, you will only see the good that the mirror is showing you. And the most beautiful thing about the mirror is that when somebody stands in front of the mirror and he goes away, the next person that comes, the mirror doesn't show the reflection of the person that went. It only shows the reflection of the person that's there. Allah is telling us, be like a mirror. Why? He says, a mu'min is a mirror to his brother mu'min. How? If it's dirty, he's doing some guna, he takes him on the side and he tells him, cleans it up, so he can see the reflection. The second important thing, he sees the good and the bad, both, and he tries to change the bad. And then when he sees the good, he does not remind him of the bad. Arey kal to music party mein the, abhi masjid mein baitha ho? No, he doesn't do that. A mu'min does not do that. And the third is, the fourth one, very important, it will not tell the reflection of the first person that was standing there. What is there to be learned? from this? Ya Allah, I ask you, what are you trying to tell me? He says, Allah will tell you, adopt one of the qualities of my name. Asma al-Husna, the 99 names. Take one name and adopt it in your life. Like for example, Sattarul Ayub. When I see somebody, I won't speak bad about this person. I will look at the good of this person. The Prophet, our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was sitting in a majma and he said the same thing. Give in the name of Allah. Give. Whatever Allah has given you in excess, give it. That's what this ayat that we talked about is about. Surah Baqarah. Correct? I give you, you give out. And the Prophet is giving a lecture. He's addressing the people and he's explaining. He's like, you should give out whatever you have in excess. So obviously there were rich people there. There were all kinds of people sitting in the majma. So one man, he stands up and he says, Ya Rasulullah, I have nothing to give. I have nothing to give. What do I give? Rasulullah turns around and says, what you have, very few people have, because Allah makes everybody unique. Everybody has a unique quality that the other doesn't have. Ali Balu he might like shrimps, and I don't like shrimps, I like fish. He found out that today. Unique. This is the way we are, we're all unique. So Rasulullah tells him, you have something amazingly unique. And I promised to talk about this, didn't I, Abbas? Yes. And he says, what do you have? He says, you have the best smile that I have seen yet. It is so good. Rasulullah is telling this man that when you give that smile, even my heart becomes happy. The man says, I don't have anything. He says, you got the best smile. He says, now it is your duty to spread the smile out. What does this man do? He gets up in the morning every day, and as the Prophet told him, he goes around the storekeepers. And he goes in and says, Assalamu alaikum, kaise ho, how are you? Kamata, kamatalefu, you know, whatever language that was. He goes around. 6 months pass. The same group of people, the merchants, they sit there with the Prophet. So can you bring this man that was smiling to us? Allah's Prophet summons him. He says, please come. You're wanted here. He says, what have I done? He says, what haven't you done? The shopkeepers and the storekeepers are saying that every time you passed by and you gave us that salam with a smile, do you know what it did when we opened up the store or the shop? It gave us the energy, because maybe we had a little brawl at home. Maybe we got some other issues and we were kind of like, you know, grumpy. But when we saw your smile, we became so happy and life suddenly became radiant. And we did so well that we are rich now because of your smile. Just a smile. My brothers and sisters in Iman, don't ever say, I don't have anything to give. Yes, you do. The Prophet is proving it. It's all unique. And he says, okay, these people, the merchants are very happy, and they said, we want to reward you. And they said, we'll give you, so everybody brings a bag of gold. They're all giving it to this man. And the man, he sees a huge mountain of gold sitting in front of him there, gold coins. And he looks at the Prophet and he stopped smiling. The Prophet said, what's the matter? He says, just because I saw the money, the gold, my smile went away. You think I want that gold? I would rather keep my smile and make sure that everybody else makes money. I just am happy with the ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me. Durood Bejir Muhammad wa alim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Again, Surah Waqia, I'll take you there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَلَوْلَا إِذَا بَلَغَ الْحُلْقُومَ وَأَنْتُمْ حِينَئِذٍ تَنْظُرُونَ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْكُمْ وَلَكِنْ لَا تُبْصِرُونَ فَلَوْلَا إِن كُنْتُمْ غَيْرَ الْمَدِينِينَ تَرْجِعُونَهَا إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Allah is saying, why then do you not help this man that's dying and his soul is coming out from his throat and he's struggling, which we call sakarat. And Ashaira said something very beautiful. Maut ka waqt jab aaya, ek lamha koi hata na saka. Jaan dete the par is par kitne log jaan uski koi bacha na saka. This is maut. Surah Waqia is explaining. He's saying, why didn't you come and help this man? And then you look helplessly on him. Bebas ho jate ho. You just look helplessly. The man is dying. Oh, what can I do? And then he says, Allah says, we are nearer to him than you, but you do not see it. We are closer to him than you. We're closer to him like jugular vein. This is how close Allah says I am to this banda. And you think you are close to him? This is why then, if you are not in bondage with us, you know these facts, yet why don't you bond with your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then you do not send it back if you are truthful. This is amazing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that after all the ni'mat I have given you, after everything that I've done for you, where are you going? You cannot give in my name. I gave you so much. I have made you unique. But what are you giving me back? Like we said, Arbaeen is over, Muharram is over. No, it is not over. It is just starting. Why? Because we're not Muslims for a season. We're Muslims for a reason. We're not Muslims for a season. Ramzan ayah, Muharram ayah, oh mashallah, house full. As soon as Arbaeen is over, now it's Thursday Majlis, and we have other programs. How many people? 5, 10, 15 Muslims for a season. No, let's become Muslims for a reason. Young man, I'm talking to you. Don't find excuses. I got homework. I got a paper to write. Oh, my teacher's tough. No. Allah is tougher. Come here. He will help you. Because if you don't, you're the backbone, the future of this community, young people. And I love addressing you. That's why I actually asked you to come forward so I can see eye to eye with you and talk to you. Durood Bejir Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bari digar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the youths and the kids here, I have a story for you which is in connection with what I'm talking about today. Be careful what you plant. There was a king in his kingdom. He was getting old. And he wanted to give his kingdom. He wanted to find an heir who would run his kingdom the way it should be run, with honesty. So what does he do? He calls a young man, like you guys in the front. He calls all the young men, and he says, I'm gonna give you all the seeds. Take it home, plant it, and come back to me in about 3 months. The one that grows the best flowers will have the kingdom. Simple, right? They all go home. They plant the seeds. Nothing's happening. They go to their moms and dad. Mom, nothing happening. So the mom says, don't worry, king will never notice. They replace the seed. And they start putting in roses, some puts lilies and all kinds of flowers to impress the king. After 6 months, when all the children, the youths come back, the young people come back, the king is very impressed to see all the flowers. There was one young man that sat behind and he hid himself. So the king said, he looked at all the flowers and everything, he says, wow, that's fantastic. Then he said, what's that, young man? Why are you hiding there? He says, he had something in the back. He says, no, I want to see it. So he says, please show me. So he brings out the pot, which nothing growing. There's nothing growing in it. He says, I'm so embarrassed, O king, that I don't have anything to give. And the king said, I make you the heir, because the seeds that I gave, I boiled them so that they would not grow. I wanted to see who amongst you is honest. And I wanted an honest man to be the king. You are going to be the king. The moral of the story is very simple. If you plant honesty, you will reap trust. If you plant goodness, you will reap friends. If you plant humility, you will reap greatness. If you plant perseverance, you will get victory. If you plant consideration, you will get harmony. If you plant hard work, you will get success. If you plant forgiveness, istighfar, you will reap reconciliation. If you plant openness, you will reap intimacy. If you plant patience, you will reap improvements. And if you plant faith, you will reap miracles. Durud Beji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's look at the negative side now. If you plant dishonesty, you will reap distrust. If you plant selfishness, you will reap loneliness. If you plant pride, you will reap destruction. If you plant envy, you will reap trouble. If you plant laziness, you will reap stagnation. If you plant bitterness, you will reap isolation. If you plant greed, you will reap loss. If you plant gossip, you will reap enemies. If you plant worries, you will reap wrinkles. And if you plant sins, you will reap guilt. Durud Beji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My brothers and sisters in Iman, the conclusion that I'm bringing us to is, where do we go from here now? Muharram is over. Arbaeen Majlis is over. No, we just heard enough. We ate enough. It's time to go digest. We heard enough. It's now time to go home and think what our Aimmas did for us, what Imam Hussein did for us, how much trouble they went through. I'm very grieved today because I want to speak about something that happened, which tears my heart apart every time I think about it. When this kafala, this caravan, reaches Medina, Janab Zainab and all of them now have been given consolation by the people of Medina. Janab Zainab proceeds from there now, and she goes, and Hazrat Zainul Abidin goes with her, and they go to the house of Janab Zainab. Janab Zainab goes and enters the home, and she sits on the veranda, and she is just sitting there. And as she sits there, Abdullah, the husband, comes in. He sees an old lady sitting right there by the steps, and he says, "Who are you, old lady?" And she said, "Yabna Am, didn't you recognize I am Zainab, your wife?" "I am Zainab, your wife. I have come here and I want to first and foremost give you condolence for your two sons, Aun and Muhammad. In Karbala, I did not cry for them. In Kufa, I did not cry for them. In Sham, I did not cry for them. But let's go to their room." Janab Zainab opens the door. She sees two musallas, Arajan namaz, and she breaks down and she says, "Ya Aun, Ya Muhammad, your mother today will cry for you." Ajrukum Allah. May Allah give you no grief but that of Imam Hussain. But I also want to discuss and show you the reflection of one lady that died. She died. She never went under the roof, never went under the shade. Whether it was day or night, she was always sitting in the veranda where the sun would hit her. At night, the frost would bite her. But she would not go in the shade. And one day Imam Zainul Abidin comes to her and says, "Ay Rubab, why aren't you going to the shade?" He said, "Oh Imam of the time, how can I tell you? I lost my two children. One is in Sham, Sakina, the other is in Karbala. My baby Al-Yasir." He says, "But they are now with their father." And then Umar Bab says, "How can I ever forget on the 11th of Muharram? What happened on the 11th of Muharram? On the 10th, when my little baby, he was taken to Karbala by Imam just for a drop of water and was given a 3-pronged arrow on the neck and was assassinated, was done shaheed. How can I forget? Imam keeps on coming and going back to the khayma, and then finally gives me the baby and says, "Rubab, you will have to be strong and pull this arrow out of the neck of Ali Asghar." I did not do anything. I just did what Imam said. Imam went in the back of the tent. He dug a grave and he put the baby Ali Asghar in there, in the burning hot sand. And my heart bled. But I said, my baby is still safe. It's in the grave now. But on the 11th day, what does Shimr do? Shimr says, let's start counting the heads. And when they count the heads, Shimr says, there is one head missing. There is one head that's missing. What do? And they said, Imam had buried the baby there behind the tent. And he says, go out there and take your spears and go. Merubab is standing outside and she sees all this, and they take the spear and they keep on poking in the land of Karbala. How can I forget that one spear enters the ground and is pulled up, and what comes out? The lash, the body of my baby, alias. It was not enough. And Shimr is seeing that the mother is standing right there. He takes the head of the baby and slaughters the baby and removes the head from the body and puts it on the lens. How can I forget that? How can I forget Sakina? Sakina died when she died in Sham. Even the Ghusala said it is very hard to do ghusl because her clothes were stuck to her body. Ajrukumullah, Rubab, when she used to sit under the skies, she always used to hide something in her chadar. She used to hide something, and when one day when Rubab passes away, she dies, and our Imam comes and opens her arms. What does she see? The burnt sticks and the wood of the cradle of Ali Asghar. Ya Hussein! Ya Hussein! Ya Hussein! Matam Hussein! Ya Hussein! Ya Hussein!
Ya Hussein, 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 हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का, मातम हरम अब्बास का,
जब रिदा सर से छिनी